tops in the league. So there is Dexter, GQ'd up with Mr. Matheny and John Mozeliak. So we're going to get you out to Busch Stadium here as these guys sit down at the mics and talk about the new deal. Cardinals with their new center fielder, Dexter Fowler. And we're going to turn it over to Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak.
Thanks for joining us. And I'd like to turn over to Cardinals Senior Vice President, General Manager John Mozeliak for an exciting introduction we've got to say to the Cardinals.
Thank you, Brian. Good morning. And first off, I want to just thank all of you for being patient to this process. I feel about 6 o'clock last night, word was breaking on this from a picture from a Southwest flight. So I think it led to maybe, again, one of our worst kept secrets. So, but that happens. Before I get into this, I'd also like to thank Mr. DeWitt and ownership for supporting this decision. And the ownership group has always been the strength behind this team, and it's always given us the ability to find ways to be competitive, and this is certainly no different. I would also like to thank the baseball operations team. Our group worked tirelessly over the last few weeks, especially this past week at the winter meetings in D.C. We had a lot of different things that we were chasing, but ultimately it led us to Dexter, and we're very excited about that. I'd also like to just recognize two people specifically that were key in this, and that's Mike Gersh and Linda Brower, because the last 24 hours a lot of things have been moving, and they were instrumental in getting things completed for us and dotting I's and crossing T's. And then finally, I'd like to thank Dexter's agent, Casey Close, and his team, because they're extremely professional throughout this. There were times I was hoping not to annoy him, because there were some other things that we were trying to understand before we moved forward, but clearly we were able to get this to the finish line, and I really appreciate all his efforts. So the question might simply be, why Dexter? And before I answer that directly, I was thinking about how our off-season unfolded and what we talked about, and a lot has been written by all of you, and thank you. How you I don't know if you were questioning what we were trying to do, or if you were just feeling like we weren't going to be able to finish it. But certainly one of the things we wanted to address was athleticism. We wanted to address someone that could hit at the top of the order if possible, to allow us to give us flexibility with Carpenter. And we also were looking to find someone that was extremely competent on the base path. And so I think we were able to accomplish that. But Mr. Fowler is more than that. And there's always the baseball angle in all decisions, but there's also the human element of that. And one of the things that I think that we are so excited about Dexter is he's a student of the game. You look at his career path, and you look at the last 3 years and how he's matured and evolved at the major league level is something that we value. We also think about him as a leader, and more importantly, he wants to lead. He wants to have a voice in that clubhouse. And when you think back to some of the things we've always talked about, trying to change the culture of what we have going on, we like what we have, but now we like it better, and we think he's just only going to enhance that. And finally, he's someone that wants to be a part of our community. He wants to be involved in the city of St. Louis, and of course we always welcome that when a player is willing to do that. So at this time, it's our pleasure to introduce Dexter Fowler. So at this time, we'll open it up to questions.
You remind me when you were told that the St. Louis Cardinals were interested in you?
You know, it was an honor, you know, just to be, you know, even considered, you know, to be in the Cardinals organization. You know, you play against the Cardinals. You know, I've been playing against them for 8 years now, and you know they always come out fighting, and they're always fighting. And then playing at the rival, you know, being with the Cubs and playing them, you know, however many times we play a year, you see them, and it's always good that a winning team wants you. So it's definitely humbling.
I hear a lot of Cardinals fans talking about catching up with Cubs, having played the Cardinals as much as you have. First of all, do you think that's necessary to catch the Cubs? And second of all, how do you do it?
Well, you know, playing over there and playing against the Cardinals is it was definitely you know, you see them over there, and they weren't, when I was over there, they weren't that far away. They weren't that far away. And obviously, they beat up on us, we beat up on them. So, you know, it was almost even. It's just that it was one day or another. So, you know, I can't put my finger on one thing or another, but you know, we're definitely close.
Having seen them so much, like you mentioned, did you kind of, as you're talking to Mo or Rage, you kind of feel like you might have been that one piece that was missing in terms of, as Mo said, the lack of athleticism, etc.?
You always hope so. You always hope so, but you know, I can't tell what the future has in line, but you know, I feel like this team has a chance to win a World Series, and you know that was a big part in coming back, because winning is addictive.
How would you had the postseason press conference with previous NFL priorities to get a center fielder? Was this the focus? Was Dexter the guy you were talking about at that time?
He was. From day one, that was always someone that we were hoping to sign. But, you know, I think, like, after this past week at winter meetings and for all the people that sat through those 5 o'clock media sessions, were probably a little frustrated with sort of what I was speaking about, because I was vague. And the reason that you have to remain that way is because what if we didn't sign him? And then, you know, we would have had to pivot somewhere else. And, you know, we certainly wanted to get this done. We're excited we got it done. You know, I think late Wednesday night when we were shaking hands on this, it was a great feeling, because, as I mentioned, there's so many positive attributes of what he does for us, not only on the field but off the field. It was just a win-win if we could do it.
You talked about all the reasons why the Cardinals wanted you, but financial aside, why St. Louis over maybe any other option that you had out there?
This is a baseball city. You can go other places, and you know, you don't see. I mean, I witnessed that on the plane. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, this is definitely a baseball city. The fans, every time you come here, you see red everywhere, and that's awesome to see. Even there's Cardinals fans. You know, we were going through our parade, and you see Cardinals fans out there. So being a part of that, and their winning culture. They won World Series. They're poised to be back in the World Series and win again, and that was a big part of my decision as well.
With Hayward or Lackey at all through this process about what maybe to expect, what it was like?
No, they kind of they let me make my own decision. They let me make my own decision. They knew, you know, they played with me. They knew, obviously, their plans over there, and you know, they always wish me the best. So.
Do you see yourself as a center fielder for the rest of your career?
I can't speak in the future. Obviously, I want to play center the rest of my career, but you never know what God has for you, and you just gotta roll with it and see where it takes you.
Sometimes not feel perhaps you might do it.
Anything that helps the team. Anything that helps the team. If I'm not good in center.
For the record, we haven't. So
if I'm not good in center, then I trust me, I'll definitely move up.
That's why like we announced the title.
I felt like they did. I fell asleep. So a flight attendant came up to me, and then this guy comes. Thank goodness for Wi-Fi on the plane. They came to me and they were like, he was like, "Is this true?" And I was like, you know, I don't know. And I just went back to sleep, like. But no, it was definitely funny, and it was definitely one for the books.
When we just heard some of the traits that the Cardinals were looking for from the guy they acquired, when you entered free agency, what were some of the things you were looking for from a team?
First of all, a winning team. You know, it's you know, you get the taste of, the year before, you get the taste of winning, and then you win a World Series, and you want to do that again. You're excited. You want to get back, and you want to win a World Series. And you know, with the Cardinals, they're always in the hunt. They're always in the hunt, and yeah, that was a big part of my decision.
It's hard sometimes to quantify what makes a good table setter or a guy at the top of the order. How do you view that role, that responsibility, and what do you think makes a good player at the top of the batting order?
You know, you get on, obviously leading off. I've done it my whole career, and you know, I feel like I need to get on base. Set the tone for everybody else. You know, Joe came up with the nickname "You Go, We Go," and that's always stuck with me. And you know, now being with the Cardinals, it's like, still, I feel like if I go, then we all go. So, you know, hopefully everybody follows suit, and we'll be in good shape.
When you became a free agent, were the St. Louis Cardinals undermined of coming to him?
Yeah, any team. There was any team, man. You know, any team that want you to be wanted is definitely awesome. It's a good feeling, and you know, it could have been the other way. You know, but you know, any team that wants you, you definitely, you know, have the open heart to them.
How does next year change the dynamic of the team and how you read all that?
I think you obviously have a great presence at the top of the lineup, and a lot of the things that we've talked about with the athleticism and the excitement of bringing in a player that has all the physical attributes, but all those others, those ones that are behind the scenes that we put a lot of faith into. But I think it's been said, well, this is the guy we were hoping to be sitting up here with, and just like when we talked a couple nights ago on the phone, couldn't explain to him how excited we are for how well we believe he's going to fit into our lineup and fit into our clubhouse.
Who did second?
Excuse me?
Who did second?
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about, I know in the meantime you hadn't get any phone calls yet. Did you get involved late and talk to Dexter too? Or?
No, this was after we've all been finished up. I think a lot like Dex was saying with some of his former teammates, just letting a guy go through with the people that he has represent him. Made ourselves available if there were any questions that he had. But he's been around the game, and he's had lots of conversations, and even through the time while you're playing, you're constantly hearing about different organizations and different people, and you can't help but kind of have your opinions. And we were trying to make ourselves as a resource, but we knew he was in good hands with what he already knew and with the representation he had, and just let him make the decision he felt was best.
Could you describe the idea of you and Matt Carpenter in the same lineup now? You guys have a lot of similar traits. Did you admire him from afar? Do you know him at all?
Yeah, Carp's a guy that definitely takes pitches. He takes a great pro at bat, and you know, you look at it from the other side, and you know it's going to be a battle each and every time you go up and face him. And you know, he can hit for average. He can put the ball over the wall, which is awesome as well. And he gets on base. And you know, looking at him and him leading off, and he takes the close pitches like I do. So it's awesome fun to watch. I'm a fan.
You have very good numbers in your career at Busch Stadium. Any reason for that, you think?
I guess we'll see. No, I don't know. I see the ball well here. I think that's huge. I know the guy behind the plate, Yachty, was definitely not helping me. But just see the ball. It's definitely a hitter spark for me. So I'm excited to get out and see what it's got.
On Wednesday night, what role did you have? On the phone with your representative? Were you a text away? How did that process work for you before saying yes?
I was always a phone call away. You know, Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. You know what? I take that back. We were on a 2-hour time difference, so